What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of 2024 of the Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast. I am your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
And first and foremost, Happy New Year. If you just discovered our podcast, just know you're in a great place. We're here to make sure you can become the fittest, healthiest, and happiest version of yourself. So welcome to our podcast. And if you're tuning in as someone who joined last year, the year before, or from when we started, we appreciate you so much as well. And we sincerely hope that everyone listening, that you in particular, make this the best year of your life. And I think there's no better way to start it than with an incredible episode of Motivation Monday, where we share some impactful quotes that can help be a guide to your life. We showcase a client transformation, as well as answer your questions. And I actually asked ChatGPT for the most commonly asked questions going into 2024. So we have 3 questions that should be super relevant to you that we are very excited to dive into here. But as always, I'm going to kick it off with a killer quote. So my quote is, I was watching a motivational video, and it's funny, actually, this morning, I was kind of chuckling because I went on a walk with my dog. I have a little Pomsky, he's like 30 pounds. And I was listening to this hardcore motivational video about taking charge, winning the war, taking charge of your life. And I'm like, how I just had a little chuckle to myself because I'm like, I'm sitting here listening to this hardcore motivational video, walking my little dog in the morning in the rain. But sometimes that's what it's like. And this quote made me think of that because it was raining a little bit, not bad, but lately it's been raining a lot more. And I've been thinking, I hate the rain. I don't want to go in the rain. Like, I don't want to be wet. And I'm like, this is so dumb. This is a dumb barrier to me not doing something. So in this video, David Goggins had mentioned the quote that it's our responsibility to show up to the colosseum of life prepared for battle. And he said, any event in life, there's always an excuse that will present itself. For instance, there'll be too much traffic to go to the gym. It will be raining. And that was his example. He was running in the rain. He said every day there's a reason for him not to do something. He's like, oh, it's raining, I can't do it. And I just thought this was so applicable going into the new year. And there was another quote I really liked that I almost shared, and just the concept of taking responsibility for our situation, where yes, things can happen. Maybe you're about to run out to the door and one of your kids is not ready and he throws up all over his clothes and you have to go change that. Like, life is always throwing us curveballs, but if we take responsibility and we find solutions and we say, it's raining, no big deal, or there's more traffic, maybe I'll have to go to tonight instead of now and I'll do some meeting, I'll get it done. Another example with these podcasts, by the time this is coming out, we'll be heading down to Florida. So we had to get in front of it and be diligent, make sure to budget and schedule in the time, even in this busy season. So the big takeaway here is to have that responsibility and see life as your colosseum. As silly as it may sound, the wars can be like not hitting that snooze button, getting out for that walk, doing your work, staying consistent in the gym. And the better you can get at the colosseum of life and the day-to-day challenges and taking that responsibility mindset, the better off success you'll have. And I know for a lot of you that are like new to a fitness, health, and happiness kick, it's great when you have that motivation, but that discipline, that mindset is what will keep you going and get you those long-term results. So I thought that was a great way to say Happy New Year. Let's start this year strong. Let's show up to life prepared, ready for battle, with responsibility, even if it seems silly, like something like walking your little dog.
I absolutely love that. And even just, I was actually looking at some stats from this past year, and we had filmed 102 episodes. So that's 2 every single week. And I'm just so proud of just us for showing up. Even Josh, like, coming in here today, he's like, okay, well, next week we're traveling. Here's when I leave. Here's when you leave. We've got to get this far ahead. Like, we're 4 to 5 episodes in advance. And I think that really is a testament, like, not really to brag here, but just more so to the concept of thinking ahead, of doing the hard stuff. And thank you so much to everyone who showed up. It's amazing to think that, we've done this many episodes within this entire year. And yeah, sometimes it's not easy, but it's awesome being here with all of you. And my quote here for this week is, and it's the first quote of the year. It's always a challenge because we got to set the bar high here. But it's something I came across, and it is simply: life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So honestly, this to me just means a lot because I, for the past so many years, have always been focused on just whatever the situation is, like whether it's a failure in the gym, whether it's some sort of setback. It's so easy to let yourself get down and just, kind of not become motivated, like not want to show up because of this circumstance that's taken place. So my challenge for you for this year is, no matter what takes place, think about how you react to it. Think positively, as hard as that may be. I know it's easier said than done, and continuously show up and think of that every single time. Okay, here's what's happened. Here's how I'm going to fix it. Here's what's about to take place. Here's how I'm going to get around it. And I guarantee you by the end of this year, 2024, you will be a completely different person and just be in such a different space. So that is my quote for this week.
Yeah, now as we transfer over to our thoughts, what has us excited and intrigued? First and foremost, I found this time of year, it's like easy to be motivated now because we have the new year. And I really just want to say too, like set some goals that really inspire you. Set some goals that are hard, that are a little bit crazy, announce them, and like spend time really getting into that goal. Kyle is a big fan of the 7 layers deep, which is fantastic. So instead of just saying, I'm going to lose weight, say, why do I want to lose weight? And you'd be like, okay, I want to lose weight so I can live longer. And it's like, why do I want to live longer? And it's like, okay, I want to be there for my family and be my best self. And it's like, why do I want to be there for them? And you can really get so much more out of that. And you can really see what your priorities are. And really by having good goals that guide you, it makes it so much easier. And the other thing is having that extra little bits of motivation that you can kind of have coming into you. And the sense of that is like, for me, motivational videos, like even if I'm feeling like neutral, a motivational video will always just make me ready to take charge, ready for war, all these funny different little things. Like it just, I respond well to that. I know some other people respond well by seeing someone else who's already at their goal, following along to them. This podcast is a great sense of motivation. I hear all the time people are like, I don't want to go to the gym. I listen to you guys. And I always, when I listen to a podcast, I'm in the gym, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing great. So keep tuning into this podcast. We have a lot of value also on our Instagram that you can get. We're always trying to post like a lot of value and tips for the gym, for fitness, for nutrition, for mindset. So if you're not following us, make sure to follow us on Instagram to @ColossusFit, ColossusFit. Then the other cool thought I had was just the concept of being there for your future self. So yesterday, like I did my laundry and I had all my gym clothes and I had it on my bedside dresser, and then I brought them up to my office and I just put on my desk. And I'm like, in the morning, I just get so excited just to get started with my day, and I like diving right into my journal, doing my reading, doing all these things. And like even the concept of having to move some clothes from the desk into my backpack, it would take me literally 5 seconds, but it's an extra hurdle. And yesterday I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this for Josh tomorrow. And then even today, just having that empty desk sitting down, I'm like, I feel good. And it was like a win I gave myself today. It was like I did something nice for myself. And it's just the same when you're out at night and you're like, I'm kind of hungry. I want to go eat an entire pizza. And you're like, okay, but I've hit my calories. I'm going to feel disgusting. I'm going to waste $20-$30 and it's going to serve me nowhere tomorrow. It's just going to be horrible. And like by not doing that, you're helping your future self. Even to me yesterday, like coming home with all the gifts and all the amazing things from Christmas, like the house was in disarray. And I was like to my wife, I'm like, we need to do this now. If we don't do it, we're going to go into our week, into a work week, just in chaos. And it's like, when you have like an unsettled house or space, like it's just, your mind feels just as cluttered. So spending the 20 minutes to do it, even though it's hard, like it put me in such a great mindset today. I woke up a little bit earlier. I like to see it when I wake up before my alarm and I have good energy, is like it's a gift. So I got to wake up nice and early, which was awesome. I was able to get after it. Everything was clean, like, and it really motivated me into having a good day. So that concept of being there for your future self, like especially if you know you're not going to be able to work on the weekend, get in there, be in there vigilantly early in the week, because you need to help yourself later on. Because if you're making it harder for yourself, you should be your own biggest cheerleader. You should be on your own team. And like, it's a funny concept, but you can really lay up your own situation, laying out your clothes before bed, getting to bed on time when you know you have to wake up early. Like this concept I think is really powerful, and it's just something on my mind that I wanted to share.
Yeah, it's so easy to just put something off, and we all know that feeling. Like even I use random examples like gas. Like I remember when I used to tell myself I would get in the morning because I was like lazy at night, and in the morning comes and you're like, man, like, you know, you forget about it. I'm like, man, I have an empty tank, then I'm late for something. But there's a lot of these things I feel like we can do on our journey that we can kind of relate to, like Josh's laundry example or my gas example here. And that's some people, like, you know, they'll leave cardio until the end of the week, or just kind of put things off, like, oh, I'm going to skip abs and wait until it's perfect. And, you know, even meal prep, like get ahead of these things. Like my biggest tip for people for success, I wrote an email the other day and sent it out, and it's just really just being proactive, getting ahead of things, doing that hard thing, as Josh was saying with his quote, pays off so much. But my thing that I had on the top of my head is just going to be pretty brief, is find things this year that can hold you accountable and push you. So for example, we went for a DEXA scan recently, and ever since I got that, I've just been like, I think about it a lot. Even Josh and I today were in the gym talking about how we want to bring up the legs and put some more muscle on that area. And I'm really excited. You know, I put on 9 pounds of fat, but also 9 pounds of muscle. And I loved seeing those numbers because at this point of my life, like I'm really happy to just be increasing, especially in the muscle mass department. So seeing these numbers is super motivating. We also had someone else join us that wasn't happy with the results and really wanted to make that change. So what I mean by this is like, I really encourage you to find different things such as setting up maybe a photo shoot, looking forward to maybe some sort of trip, even if it's a small thing, you know, some sort of testing, personal record thing. For us, it's the DEXA scan. So every 6 months, we're going to be getting a DEXA scan. So whenever I'm in the gym, whenever I'm thinking about these things, it's always motivating, and it's a great way to hold you accountable when the times get tough. And that's just what's been on the top of my head is I'm excited to grow. I'm excited to improve, and I love numbers and also just changes. So when you can look at these things and get motivated off the results, or for some people, it might be the lack of results. If you have been slacking off, it's amazing how it can push you to do the right stuff.
Yeah, Kyle put on almost 9 pounds of muscle in 6 months, which is phenomenal when you've been training as long as we have, which is fantastic. And even for me, like having these accountability mechanisms has been game changing. And the more you can have different systems to kind of lock you into good habits, even as I mentioned before, like having that external motivation that you can kind of manipulate by having like a motivational video, listen to this podcast. You can also do this with knowing your data. So weighing in, it can be uncomfortable, but it will hold you accountable. If you're like, my weight's gone up every day this week, I really need to pump the brakes here and I need to do better. And if you're doing great, you're like, everything's working awesome. Like it's a great resource for that. I take my measurements every single month. I weigh in every single day. And then now what I'm doing is I'm doing that DEXA every 6 months. And even me, I've just been training super, super hard, really pushing the bulk. And even now, I realize I've kind of been stuck on the 10 years of training, but it's been like 13 years of training. But even for me, it was awesome. I was able to maintain 11% body fat at 216 pounds now. I was able to put on just over 2 pounds of lean muscle, gain a lot of strength, really improve my composition. Like, so to even be able to stay lean and put on a lot of muscle is a phenomenal feat. And I think that accountability mechanism was just there. It was in my mind. And we brought one of our friends out and he didn't like his result, but I can tell it really lit a fire in him. And it's really been great seeing him work. And I think it made it more real for him because it's easy to be like, oh, I want this. But when the stakes are real and you really see the data, or if you put off weighing in, you're like, oh, okay, I have gained 20 pounds. Like you're doing yourself a favor by accepting that as opposed to pretending it's not reality and feeling worse about it and just causing an inevitable like massive explosion in your life when you realize that your situation is worse. So it's better to reflect on these things, be honest, see it as a starting point A, and just get better from there. So I think that was incredibly well said. We'll have a lot even to add on about our personal goals into the next Motivation Monday episode next week. So make sure to tune in for that. Subscribe to the podcast, all that good stuff. But for our client shout out this week, we will not be doing it, but instead on our Instagram, we're going to post some of our top transformations from the year. It has been absolutely fantastic seeing all the incredible transformations we've made. We've now done almost 4,000 transformations, which is just incredible. Like looking back, this was my goal. My goal was that I have a gift with this. It's something I love doing. And I think it's a lot easier than people make it out to be. And I love taking people who are struggling and help them really realize what they're capable of and unlock that opportunity to be in better shape, to be lean, to be strong, to lose body fat, to still enjoy their favorite foods and have flexibility. Like that is something that really fires me and Kyle up. And it's just been amazing seeing everyone succeed with that. And today is the last day to enter into our challenge. We're doing a New Year's challenge, a 21-day kickstart, but this will also just be an add-on. So there's a free add-on to anyone who signs up to coaching right now. So we will personally coach you one-on-one for 90 days, teaching you how to get in the gym on a dedicated routine just made for you, a custom nutrition plan, as well as planning and protocol for you to get better and to actually understand what you're doing, as well as the accountability and support. And just knowing you have an expert on your side is so valuable. You cannot lose when you're on our side. And today's the last day to jump in at the special discounted pricing. Be in the challenge. We have $5,000 of prize in the challenge. So if you're serious about getting fit in 2024, this is your best chance. I don't want you to miss this. And I don't want you to think in 4 months, you're like, oh, I should have done that. I'd be in a completely different situation. Instead, I want you to sign up now, see that change, not even be able to recognize yourself in the next 90 days. It's like one of my favorite things. I'll get the starting photos, people will be like, I'm not proud of these. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just wait till we're at the end of this initial acceleration term. And then you'll look at you're like, oh my goodness, this person's like brand new. They're like 20 pounds down, 10 pounds more muscle, completely looking different, confidence, a smile, like just one of my favorite things. So if you're serious about this and you want to get a start, now is a great time. Today's the last day to take advantage of this, by the way. Do not put it off. DM us New Year to Instagram at ColossusFit, ColossusFit. We will get you in here. And if you're serious, you got to actually put your money where your mouth is. This is very custom, one-on-one bespoke coaching, but it's absolutely affordable. It's just about trusting yourself to make that investment in yourself because it'll pay dividends more than anything else. So make sure to message us on Instagram, the keyword New Year to at ColossusFit, ColossusFit.
Yeah, and honestly, I see a lot of people out there doing challenges that just aren't going to be setting you up for success for the rest of the year. And our biggest mission, as you know, especially if you've been listening to us for a while, but if not, our goal is sustainability, creating long-term habit change and all that great stuff. And honestly, like kind of working off of what Josh said for the client shoutouts, I'm just so proud. We've lost thousands of pounds as an entire community this year, thousands of inches as well. And like, it's just been amazing to see. And I'm so grateful for every single person that showed up. And even this year, we've just set an amazing goal to help so many more people. And honestly, just, yeah, very grateful to show up and do what we do every day. We have an amazing team behind us working with us. And yeah, we just can't wait to help some of you awesome people. You will not want to miss out on this challenge. It's going to be incredible. And I guarantee it will change your life and set you up for success for the rest of your life as well.
All right, now let's get into the mailbag. And normally we'd be answering your questions, but today we're answering AI's questions. That apparently is the accumulation of the most commonly asked questions. So effectively, it kind of works. And I think the first one is a great one. We've recently made a whole episode on this, but I just want to touch on it. And I know there's a lot of new people in here. I know a lot of you are probably jumping back into this. So welcome back. Thank you for being here. We got some great developments coming into this podcast into the new year. Always trying to get better, always trying to improve. But let's jump into the first question. What are some healthy eating tips to improve my diet? So I just put some of my top tips here, like especially as I feel like I've really optimized my diet this year, and I've been really happy that I've been able to eat my favorite foods. I've been able to be full every day, being able to stay super lean, gain a ton of muscle, gain a ton of strength. Like, it's one of those things where it just feels like you're winning in every way and it feels like you're doing something wrong. But it's just really been figuring out some mistakes I made in the past. So I'll share the big movers for me, and then you can implement this to make your life a lot easier. So the first is eating more vegetables. I know it's boring. I know that's not an exciting piece of advice, but by actually making sure to eat more vegetables, like even if I were to eat 200 calories of broccoli, I would be stuffed. I mentioned this before, but if I eat like a whole bag of chips, I'm not going to be that hungry. I'm going to want more. It's going to just not be quality food. Also, vegetables provide a lot of incredible nutrients for you. They're full of fiber, and they're just going to keep you fuller longer. So by actually making a point to eat more vegetables, to be aware of it, and I know a lot of people don't want to spend money on vegetables because they're expensive, but I'm telling you, it really can beef up, even if you're on a deficit, the amount of food satisfaction you get, and you just feel way better with it. Like, I've really been trying to improve my variety of vegetables as well, and even just having that thought of investing in yourself when you're at a restaurant and you're like, ooh, I'm going to get some wings. Like, there's nothing wrong with like getting a nice big garden salad beforehand, filling yourself up with it, and you might eat half the wings. You're end up going to save yourself money, even though yes, the salad's $15. It sucks. So you can make it at home. I get it, but it's going to give you a lot of that satiety to stay on track, to feel better. So fruits can be fantastic as well. You do need to be careful with those because they can be more caloric. I think they're totally fine. I just know some people will go a little bit ham on the fruits, and it can definitely add up. But vegetables are like so low in calorie. You can eat a lot of them, feel super full. They feel really good in your stomach as well. So that's number one. Number two is really just to eat more filling foods in general, and really making a point to eat better quality food, whole sources of food. And I still eat out. I still do all these favorite things. I still enjoy treats and desserts and different things along that side, but I generally aim to eat the best food I can. It's going to make me feel the best. It's going to be the best for me. That's going to build me up. And like we've heard the quote, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be their food. Like when you're eating great, you just feel fantastic. It's such a difference to like when you're on vacation or something, you're just eating buffet food or garbage food. You're like, I feel disgusting. This is no way to live. And the cleaner you eat, the more you'll kind of crave clean foods. We really recommend 80-20 as a benchmark. It's a fantastic place to start because you're going to be eating about 80% really good, high quality foods. And then you can still enjoy enjoy really fun different things that of course are not as healthy. There's nothing wrong with that, but that balance is what's going to cause you to have more success. So really creating this like mind shift. Like there's nothing wrong with going out with wings for your buddies, wings and fries, but you're going to have to take away a lot of those calories from other things, be mindful of it. Maybe you have less calories so you can't do the fries, etc., etc. But it's really about learning how to make that work. The next big one I would say is just limiting sugar and junk food. Unfortunately, empty calories are just not very filling. I really struggle when I have a lot of empty calories because I just get so hungry. Like I'm someone who likes to eat a lot, and like I could eat 2,600 calories really clean and be pretty stuffed. I could eat 5,500 calories of just garbage and want more. So you're actually doing yourself that favor, as I mentioned before, laying yourself up for the future. I remember in the past for YouTube, me and Kyle used to do these crazy food challenges. So we've done like 3 or 4 10,000 calorie challenges. We did a 15,000 calorie challenge. And I feel like for me, I just love food so much that I kept eating. I ate almost like 16,000. I got like a slushie or something like that. So that was pretty cool. That was awesome. But at the same time, it really showed me like the importance of good quality food because like I said, when I'm having a lot of vegetables, amongst other things, I can be absolutely stuffed on 2,600 calories.
And so, yeah, working off of that, absolutely fantastic tips. One of my biggest things, like I was mentioning before, is just setting yourself up for long-term sustainable change. And a lot of people really do go in with amazing intention, whether it's the week, the month, even here with the year of just being like, I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to meal prep all the time. I'm going to grocery shop, more veggies. Amazing. Like that is a great start. But the thing that's going to keep you going and keep helping you see sustainable change is actually keeping a log of your calorie intake. So we use MyFitnessPal. We're not sponsored or anything like that. It's just a free app that we have used for years. You don't need the premium version as well. And honestly, just having that accountability and awareness, like those are the two biggest things about tracking that it's setting you up for success essentially with, is just having that awareness. Okay, here's what's happening with my food intake. Here's the numbers. Here's how much protein it is. And you see so much data. And if you do that for a certain amount of time, you'll be amazed at all the amazing things that you'll notice. And especially with all of Josh's tips, such as veggies, you'll start to see high fiber, low calories. You know, you log one of those Starbucks Frappuccinos and you start to see, holy, like this isn't good for me. Like this isn't helping me within my goals. And the other biggest thing is just having a certain amount of protein, essentially about 1 gram per pound, is absolutely amazing. And I highly recommend it. So if you're 175 pounds, aiming for 175 grams of protein, one of the greatest things in terms of helping you with satiation, filling you up, muscle mass, helping you maintain lean muscle mass as well, and also losing body fat. It is absolutely phenomenal. And also being mindful of portions and all that great stuff will absolutely help you out and definitely change your life for sure.
Yeah, this is a huge topic, like the concept of how to stay healthier, how to eat healthier. But this is the biggest one, tracking your food, knowing your calories, getting your protein. We've spoken about this ad nauseum in previous episodes. We will link a good episode we had on just eating and your diet and all that great stuff. So make sure to check that resource out. The next one we have, which is a lot of fun, is how can I incorporate more physical activity into my daily routine? And since I asked AI for these questions, I'm like, I wonder what the response would be. And it actually gave me a few cool little ideas and things that I do that I haven't spoken of before here. So I kind of worked off what they said and what I do. And I'll start with the most fun one, which I think is like a chore sprint. So a day when I haven't done as much, I want to get some movement in. I want to get some steps. I'll just kind of start going, just get stuff done at home, clean up some things, start vacuuming, do some dishes, start dusting. Like by boogie and moving, getting stuff done, not only are you cleaning your house and getting things done, you're also getting some movement in. So especially if it's been like a really low movement day and you want to get some steps going, you want to get more activity throughout the day, just getting some of these things done, staying clean, staying organized is a fantastic way to navigate it. And then on the days when you're absolutely slammed, your house will be in a pretty good spot and you won't have to do that. Your house, your car, whatever it may be. But especially on those days where you have less going on, you want to get some activity. It's like a win-win as opposed to just like stepping on a treadmill, which is a little bit less eventful. The other thing I really like, and I do mention this one a lot, is being social with your activity. So we'll always make a point to try and ask buddies to do other things like, let's go snowboarding, let's go do this or that, as opposed to just like, hey, let's get drinks, let's go get this food, whatever it may be. I know that's pretty typical, but even getting out on a hike, being in Utah was super cool. Like seeing all the different groups of people all going on hikes together, like it's an awesome piece of activity. Going out skating, play hockey, any type of activity, but Making a point to do with friends will hold you to it more and will make it a lot more eventful, which is absolutely fantastic. One I actively try to do is to park further away. Another benefit of this is if you don't want to get doored or you don't want people hitting your car and you want space to like get in and load stuff. Even for me with a baby, like it's hard getting him in there. Like I don't want to doink his head on my car. So it's been nice like parking pretty far away for all of those reasons. And you're also going to get some more steps. And then the other one is stairs. And people are like, oh, people always say the stairs. I only take stairs every here and there. But I think even making rules about certain things, so we'll get into that with my next one too, but the gym I'm at has 3 flights of stairs, and when I take my son to the daycare, it's on the 3rd floor, change room's on the 1st floor, and the gym is on the 2nd floor. So I made a rule. I'm like, I'm only taking him with the stairs. I'm never doing that elevator. And now day to day, it's not going to be a big change. I'm not going to burn like 1,000,000 calories or anything like that, going up a set of 3 stairs like twice. But the compound of doing that over years and years and sessions, that's where the beauty's made, and that's where it can just really add up to a nice bonus and activity. Whereas if I didn't do that, I'm missing out. And you can see how by making a point to do a lot of these things makes it easier for me to get my steps in with like 1 or 2 walks a day only, and very brief walks at that, like 15 to 20 minutes. That's because I'll do things like being active in my house, doing my chores, tidying up, making sure my space is good. I'll park farther away. I'll take the stairs. Like when you do all these different things, it really adds up a big time. And then the other one is walking too. Like that's one thing I loved about going to university downtown. I had to walk everywhere. It was just like so many steps. It was awesome. And even for me, like living in good proximity to things, I'll make a point to like when I can walk to the grocery store, walk to the bank, walk to wherever I need to go. Like I think it's a lot of fun. And especially when I travel, my rule is anything under a 30-minute walk I'll do. Like I won't do a car, I won't transit. Saves you a ton of money on Ubers. It feels really good. You're getting in your activity. You can listen to an audiobook. It's a great way to really see the city. So those are probably my top tips on how to incorporate more physical activity into my routine. And we're going to get into our third question. We'll get Kyle to take this one away, is what are some ways to manage stress and improve your mental well-being?
So for me personally, something that's really helped over, I guess, just a duration of years as I've tried to build up great habits just with managing stress and keeping the mind fresh essentially, and just, right, because jumping before I give my tips, like having a right mindset, starting the day strong, being able to just have the right stuff going on, like it just really helps you manage everything. It helps you become a better person to other people, your work situation, your family, and all that great stuff. So I always try to start the day with a couple different things that can set me up for success for later on. And I'm sure every single person knows that feeling of just rushing out the door, of not getting your breakfast, of not getting any me time. And I think that's something that can compound negatively. And I know this because I used to do that, and I'm definitely guilty of it. And I just remember I was stressed, I was overwhelmed, all these things that just aren't right for us essentially. So my biggest takeaway and biggest tip, and I've shared this recently, but I really firmly believe it, is sprinkling these things within the day where you can get a couple minutes of breathing, where you can get a little bit of thinking, when you can get some walking and fresh air. And some people kind of look at these types of things and think it's going to take them a million years, like within the day, and be like, I have no time. And one thing I'll never forget Josh said is, he was like, the person who says they have no time to meditate, for example, needs double that essentially. I think he can explain that better, but I was like, man, that is so true, because I'm like, the days that I felt like I had no time and I was overwhelmed and stressed, I would say, well, I can't do this because I'm overwhelmed and stressed. But then I'm like, I'm overwhelmed and stressed because I'm not meditating. I'm not spending my time thinking and doing the right stuff. And even just, it takes a couple minutes. Like I highly recommend it. Whatever it is that leaves you feeling better, pay attention. And that's going to be my biggest takeaway. And I'm sure Josh has a lot more as well.
Yeah, we hear it all the time. I'm too busy for the gym, my work. And you're like, okay, well, that's awesome. You're crushing it with your work, but are you making any time for yourself? And it's so easy to put things off until it's too late. It's like, oh, I'm going to be super lax with brushing my teeth. And you're like, oh, I have 6 cavities, or I'm not going to weigh in. I'm not going to worry about my fitness. And then you go somewhere and they're like, hey, you're obese. Like, you got to get this sorted. Like, you have a lot of danger to get this, and this. Like, don't let it get to that point. Instead, get in front of it. And the meditation example, yeah, I forget where I got that from. It was some one of the great people that meditate or something like that. But I think it's such a true point, because all the time I'll say, I have no time to meditate. I'm run today. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get down. I'm going to do it properly because I know I can. And it just tells me I want to really make sure I'm making that time for me, for my mindset, for my mental space. And like, even just, I think, making a point to say you actually take that seriously. And even I was listening, there's this guy called Ken Honda. I read his book this year called Happy Money. And he talks about like how money should be happy and how it should have different connotations to it. And he was saying like, if you have less than 300K, you shouldn't be worrying about investing or anything like that. You should be investing in yourself. You should be going out buying all your friends dinner, because that's going to pay way more dividends. And I'm a big believer in that, because like having intrinsic skills too, like if you were to give like some random 5-year-old like $1 million, they'd spend it and they wouldn't be able to earn any of it back. But if you spend money in yourself, building skills, learning how to be fit, healthy, happy, you have a coach, you become your best self physically and mentally, you're going to work better and people are going to see that. You're going to be happier, which is going to help you attract more people at work and make more friends. You're going to be able to have more ability to do things with your friends. Like it all comes together. And I think really investing in your mental health, however you do that, investing in your physical health, like it's the last thing most of us do, but it's the first thing we should be doing. Like you should be taking care of yourself first, because if you don't have health, you can't do anything. I mentioned the quote before that the happy man wants 1,000 things. The sick man only wants one thing. And like that is just so true to me. And that's why you really should be taking your health serious. I think you're doing a great job listening to this podcast. That is an amazing first step. The next step I would really recommend is getting in for our challenge, getting in with our coaching. And we talk about this so much because we're like, we don't want to put any ads of any tomfoolery on here. We don't want to be pushing to you some magical BCAA that's going to help you get magic beans and grow a beard and get all the muscle you want or whatever it is. But we know our coaching works. Like we've crafted it out to work for everyone in any situation with any barrier. And that's why we can speak about it with such conviction, because like to us, it's a no-brainer. Like we overpromise, over-deliver. We value it to where it's like almost uncomfortable for us, because we're like, oh, we offer so much, we should be charging more. But ultimately, like I just love helping people with this. I love seeing people figure it out. And it breaks my heart seeing people who are struggling, who are upset, who are like insecure in their own body, when it like should be a gift for them. They should be able to live their life. They should have the confidence that they're in control of it. And like health is already so scary in the sense that so much of it is uncontrollable. But when we're not even controlling the basic things, we're at such a disadvantage. And that's where you really need to say, am I serious about this? And if you are, reach out to us. We will take care of everything for you. It's a done for you approach. We're going to do it in an optimized way, so there's no nonsense. You're going to get the most out of your time and your money. And most importantly, what's really different about our coaching system is we teach you how to do this for life. You'll learn these skills. You'll never lose them. So if you're serious about investing in yourself, go ahead and message us New Year on Instagram to jump into the challenge. You will not regret it. And I just want to say thank you everyone for tuning in today. We're really excited to push into 2024. Really going to plan some crazy content, which is going to be killer. It's going to be really, really nice filming the next episode from the sun, or maybe the one thereafter. So just expect me and Kyle to be ultra fired up. We'll see what goes on there. And just thank you everyone for tuning in. Cheers to the new year. Let's make it fantastic. Keep putting in that work. Let's get after it. Peace out.